to me, the line is drawn when I use the word motorcyclist. I'm thinking about a culture that I want to associate with. And when I use the word biker, then that's a culture that I don't want to associate with.
Okay.
I would like everybody to think of me as a motorcyclist.
So where do motorcycle festivals lie? Biker culture or motorcycle culture?
I think the idea of a festival is a manifestation of the most popular form of it that we've seen in India in terms of drawing numbers of similar minded people to one place. Right? But so far, it looks more like a biker festival than a motorcyclist festival.
Similar minded, huh? Okay.
Yeah. See, think about it like this, right? If you were part of a book reading club, what culture do you think I'm talking about? It's going to be a bunch of people who like to think. But when you think about, let's say, a club for jazz musicians, you immediately have a very different picture in your head.
Right.
The clothes in your head just changed. The way they conduct themselves changed. The places they would hang out at have just changed. Right? A book club automatically means a room with couches. But a jazz club has much dimmer lighting, for example. It has a much better sound system, for example.
Definitely not as quiet.
In the same way, if you think about what we know as motorcycle culture today, and unfortunately our references are skewed, which is why we had to go and do this episode in the first place, right? Karthik and I have traveled a lot over the earth and we've seen various aspects of it. And we like some of it, and obviously we dislike some of it, and that's okay. But in India, we are seeing an extremely skewed picture.
How so?
In India, we have what? One major motorcycle festival which is not promoted by a specific manufacturer.
Yeah.
And if you take the manufacturer festivals into account, there's maybe one more today, 3-4 that are growing.
Yeah.
To us, when you meet people physically, these are the closest you can get to a large format cultural explosion, where you will pick up ideas that are saying, wow, I'd like to do more of that.
So you're talking about these are enabling interactions amongst communities?
Are they?
No, I'm asking you. Is that what you...
But are they? That's the question that I have to ask. Are they doing it? Also, this is where you pick up what you think is acceptable behavior for this community. If bikers are thought of all over the earth as people on really loud machines going way too fast for themselves, and the most common label for this community is organ donors, that's not a good representation of who we are as a group, is it? But that perception is so common in so many places all over the earth that it's pretty clear we've done something to mess this up.
Yeah, I think it's not getting better with the explosion of short format vertical videos.
See, I'm saying all of these are elements that we pick up culture from, right? Think about yourself as a 17, 18-year-old. You've just discovered that you like motorcycles. You don't really have access to the machines yet. And you certainly won't have access to, let's call it a more evolved format of this culture. For example, if you come to my school, the track school that Anand and I run, if you come to that school and see the pit lane and how it functions, it's much closer to a US club racing event, which is an open, helpful, supportive culture, versus what would normally pass for a track day in India, which is a lot more competitive and a lot more ego-driven, right? And I'm going to classify the openness of our pit lane as superior to the ego-driven pit lanes that we normally see in India, because that's how I think. You don't have to agree, right? How do you see this culture in operation? You can't, because I can only accommodate, 60 people in the weekend. So your exploration of motorcycle culture in India begins, unfortunately, online, right? And because of the way the algorithms work on Instagram, on YouTube, on whatever, sensationalist content and negative content unfortunately hold sway. So are there reels of people going at the speed limit and riding really well? You're never going to find this one.
Okay. The two things I'm going to add. First, he was talking about Indie Motard, and what he said is bang on. I've been to a couple of track schools and track events. The experience there is definitely very special. Like Shumi was saying, it's very open, it's very friendly, it's collaborative, right? Rather than competitive. And that's what it should be. You're there to improve and you're there to learn from everybody. And that's the sense that you get, which is exceptional, right?
Yep.
I hadn't thought about it that way, that today for most people, the exposure to motorcycling culture will be digital rather than physical. I hadn't thought about that.
Did you like that? There's more growth serum on the main MotorInc channel. Look for the brand Disconnect. No, really, it'll help you grow. I'm not kidding, bro. Come on. Do it. Try it. How can it hurt? Karthik's there.